Okay, so hi, this is Juelei Organista, and I'm the director of diversity for Omega Delta Phi, and I'm here with one of the brothers that's going to be in our team. As you may know, this is a new department, I guess, under Omega Delta Phi, and it's under the vice president of Ruben Hernandez, which is the he's under the leadership and membership for all of our fraternity. Um, and we're excited because we're building our team. This is our second one-on-one I'm having, and I'm gonna have the brother introduce themselves by saying their name, and also they'll talk a little bit about like where they crossed, where they study, and then what they study too.
Hey everyone, my name is Hedgar from Chicago, Illinois, at Northeast Illinois University, Beta Alpha chapter. I crossed Spring 14. Um, I'm a line of two. There's me and my line brother. Um, I'm about to be president, and yeah, man, glad to be in this team.
Are you gonna be chapter president?
Yeah, next semester because our former president had us step down because of more personal issues, and he wants to get his academics straight.
So what? I just broke off. So he had to step down, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he has some personal issues, and then he wants to concentrate a little bit more on his academics. He kind of succeeded what he wanted to do with our chapter this semester, and well, me and him in general, and so he just passed it down to me and continue it.
That's cool. That's exciting. Um, and then what's your surname?
Sir Apocalypse with a K.
Okay. Hey, that's a cool surname. Um, and you said you were there's only two people that crossed?
Yeah, it's me and my Lambro, Adon Torres, Sor Noble.
Okay, so normal. Cool. I was a solo line, so yeah, I don't have no PV. But no worries. Cool. So as some of the stuff in with um my team is I'm okay having people that are undergrads or graduate students or current actives, I guess, because it's important to have that perspective and like on the ground understanding of like what's happening and what are some issues that the chapters or entities are going through. Because sometimes if we're just all alumni, it's like, well, this is what we think, but we don't actually know what's happening on the ground, right? So
Yeah, of course.
um, and so I'm excited to have him on our team, and so we'll start. So these are the same questions I asked all um, the new committee members. So the first one is, when do you feel like you experienced the most hype since you crossed, or even before you crossed, I guess?
Ah, man, there's a bunch of memories. I think, um, I think it was my first nationals, San Antonio. Right after we did the roll, well, we're doing the roll call. I was just waiting for it, just hearing different people's different chants for the chapter chants and the regional ones, and then hearing out for roll, like damn. But yeah, man. And then the strolling part, man. Like I've never seen it like that before. Like we're in a commuter campus, so not a lot of people show or step here. Like we're one of the few. Just seeing a bunch of brothers around and seeing the diversity, I was like, damn, I'm part of this, And I got into the hype night shows. I got into it and started strolling with them, and just having that
Yeah.
unity. Um, yeah, I think that's the hypest I've ever felt. Um,
So
in a
far,
roll.
right?
Yeah, so far.
Cool. And that's not past nationals, right? Not the NLI, but the one before, right?
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah. I wasn't able to go to that one, but that's okay. You were at the first time we met was at the
in a
NLI,
line.
right?
Yeah, arena.
Yeah. You know, yeah. Yeah, it's always nice to meet like
Yeah,
brothers in person because I think that helps like build a little bit more of the connection. So,
yeah, and I was interested. The worship you had was very interesting. It was a little bit different from what we usually have regional wise and national wise, from what I hear. And it was it was real good. Uh, Definitely, and give you different perspective, and we should really think about how we are gonna proceed in the future.
Mm, thanks. It's always nice to hear that my workshop was good. Cool. Well, you're going to be helping in the future, so
Yeah.
just keep that in mind, right? So, next question is, when was it? Is there, like I said, when throughout like the time you've been, even that includes also during your process, when was there a certain time that you felt very grateful for a certain brother? You're like, you're thinking, you're like, oh, I'm so grateful that I have this brother.
I would say my LB and my big bro. Um, they helped me a lot during my process, especially my LB. Me and him had great communication during the process. You know, it was towards the middle, it was just me and him. And I sometimes I like whenever I wanted a job or like I had the feeling of a job, I would go up to him first and I would act like, "Yo, I'm going through this situation." And then with my big bro too, like I'll go with my LB and I go with my big bro, and that's one of the reason why they call me my big bro. Sir, they gave me the name Sir Apocalypse, because I went through like 4 phases through the process.
Cool.
So yeah, so those two are like have impacted my life and still have um, impacted. I was there when my LB graduated. I was there when my big bro graduated.
Mm.
So we're just keeping going, you know.
Right. Yeah, I think that's an important aspect. And one of the reasons I have this question is because, especially with our role and the things we're trying to do, I think it's so important that we have to realize um, how it comes down to like from a relationship with one brother, hopefully just one brother, right? That can
Yeah,
help us through the hard times, not only through like just like the process, but imagine other things that are we have to go through because our identities or our
yeah,
situation. And so this is where brotherhood in its essence has to be really strong. So
yeah. Of course.
uh, and so that kind of leads to the next question, which is, when have you felt like you were the most empowered um, ever within like the brotherhood?
I think recently, man. Well, we were our chapter was kind of struggling a little bit, and I told my current president right now, like, yo, what do you think about you being president? I'd be your vice president, and we're president elect, and we get this chapter back up because we're like basically like falling down and close to like kind of dying out. So I
Hmm.
kind of pushed him to be president, like push everybody, me and him, basically empowered everybody. You know, we gotta get this straight. We gotta get these events done. We gotta get our finance up there. During the summer, um, I was just telling people, you know, like get your grades up right now, because some of them were taking summer classes. Like get your grades up. Like if y'all need help, I will direct you who you need to. We're just telling, we're just trying to motivate each other. Up to this point, our right now our current neos, we just crossed last week actually. We're just
Yeah,
telling them, yo, you
congrats.
got this, man. You trying to like get these finals done. You got to get them A's. You got to get them the A B's. You know, get them GPA up.
Mm.
Try to study with them. You know, if they feel down, especially with my I just got my first
Ah, congrats.
little bro. Yeah, and he went through a tough time because somebody passed away in his family, and I was there
Mm.
for him,
Yeah.
trying to motivate him to keep going and like be there for him when he needed it, when he felt down. Um, you know, when he wanted to talk, I was there for him. I made myself. I try to make myself more available to the bros if they need it around my
Mm.
chapter.
And it comes down to that, like the one-on-one kind of connection and interaction that can provide to each other, um, that help them to be empowered. And that's
Yeah,
what we're talking about right here, right? So, you talking to the current president, being like, "Hey, I see you as a leader. Let's do it. It's not just you, but I'm here to support you, right?" Um,
yeah,
and then going down to your little bro, something similar to happened to my little bro too. This semester, where someone in his family also passed away, and I was there to support and help and go through it because. Yeah, that's one of the, like I said, sometimes life happens and you need to build that support system, and if you don't have it, it's really hard for trying to expect anyone to do something hard or rigorous if they don't have that support system, right?
yeah. We gotta be a brother's keeper.
And so the next question is, so when have you felt that you could be the most authentic self um, while you've been in with the brotherhood? And this is some kind of a question that I answered in my workshop, but
Uh, man, authentic. Um, I don't know. It's mostly when I'm goofing around. I goof around a lot. Um, that's when I show, you know, who I really am. I like to goof around a lot, getting bros kind of mad, but at the same time messing around with them.
uh-huh.
Um, yeah, they kind of know me because of that. Uh, yeah, man, I'm known to be like the goofy one, but when it's down to
Mhm.
business, like I could be the most serious one.
Mm.
So yeah, just knowing which one, how to be and where to be, in the different situations, how to act.
Mhm. And so you feel overall like your entity allows you to be authentic.
Yeah, of
That's good,
course. At the
right?
same time.
And that's where we're trying to do with all the chapters because sometimes not all brothers can feel like they can do that, right?
Yeah.
But and I think that's good that you're going to be chapter president because you're the one that sets the tone to how you allow everyone to feel comfortable to be authentic and not only yourself, but I always like to say your best self
Hmm.
because sometimes within ourselves we need to develop some ourselves a little bit more and kind of chip off those bad habits because sometimes part of ourselves is these bad habits that we need to take off and so we can be our best self, right?
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do this whole semester, where we're successfully like not letting one job to one person and try to have everything done by everyone. Try to get rid of all the one man doing the whole thing instead of
Mm,
I and being we. You know.
mm, yeah. And yeah, like I said, that I think it's important to understand if you're a leader, like for example with you, like you set the tone of how that is. And so the next question is, let me see here. I have to kind of make sure I go back and forth with the video because it just keeps sticking on me or you. So I have to like think about. Okay, so the next question is, and this is also connected to the workshop. Is I asked, think about 2 to 3 identities that you feel like. So identify what those are, and then talk about how you've seen those identities shape and or influence the culture that's in your entity or when you're around brothers.
Yeah. One of the identities I I really appreciate the. I consider myself a Chicano. I'm very proud of that, and I try to embrace it as much as possible. Um,
Wait, you have to repeat that. I just froze. I didn't hear what you said.
oh, so I identify as a Chicano.
Okay.
Um, I'm very proud of it, and I try to embrace it as much as possible,
Mhm.
especially around my chapter. So we're becoming a little bit more diverse. Um, we got we are, right now we're just Latino, Caucasian, and African American. But I try to embrace that to let them learn about different cultures, or different my culture, and I try to learn theirs. So we're trying to exchange ideas and things like that, things to do it. Um, Man, the other two, that got to me. Just being, how do I identify? It's hard. It's hard. Um, I would say it's hard. So I was still thinking this last night. Uh, yeah, man, it's like I'm more of a like you tell me how do you like who I identify with, and instead of me telling people. Like the main one I always say is Chicano because
Chicana,
yeah,
right?
yeah, I always been rooted from since I was young.
Hmm.
Um, I would say also embracing I identify myself as a you could say a minority as well.
Hmm.
In that case, because of where I'm surrounded of and the fact that our university is majority populated of minorities, is one of the
Hmm.
diverse schools, and
Hmm.
a lot of people identify with it, and we embrace it a lot too in the school. It's a, it's a little bit more different than other universities,
Hmm.
different
Or
races,
right, like for
cultures
example,
around.
here in Utah, it's majority white, and if you identify as minority, or you know you are a minority based on maybe ethnicity, or you know that affects not only the chapter, but it affects how the chapter can be seen on campus, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Um, yeah, for the third one, that's
No, you know, if you don't have a third one, that's okay. And then the thing is, have you seen any identities within like your entity that have had and a big influence on how the culture of the brotherhood there is? It doesn't have to be yours, but other brothers.
um, no, no. For ours, so like I would say the Midwest like has an identity of being like the I would say like the gangster, like the idea of a gangster, proud brother. We're very proud over here, like to the point that we're so united that we talk smack to each other. So I'm in a Midwest brothers around there. We talk a lot of smack, man. Like, but then again, when it comes to getting business done and like if you talk about splitting the region, yeah, man, you better have a good argument because of it because we're going at it.
Yeah.
They're debating about it. They try to make a joke about it, and everybody got kind of mad. We started even alumni. Um, our chapter was we're known to be like to try to be top number one.
Hmm.
Um, from like oh, from like trying to cross as many people, quali-
Hmm.
qualified members to like the best strollers, the best steppers, to like who has the best
Hmm.
grades, who graduated more brothers
Hmm.
during the semesters. So we take a lot of pride on that, and just our chapter where we take pride of like each member. Like for example, we try to somebody try to talk smack about a brother from our chapter. No, you can't talk about him. Only we can. Things like that, you know. Um, so yeah, man, we're you could say the pride, the the respect we have among each other. Um, the loyalty that we have among our chapter and regional
I know
wise.
y'all's And I know y'all's regional director, Jose. He was at the in Boston with me, so we got to hang
Yeah,
out, spend time with each other. He's a really good RD. I think all of our RDs are really strong, and I think that's why OD5 is strong too. But all of y'all's RD Jose is he has good plans. He learned a lot from AFLV. I mean, not AFLV, AFA comps we were at, and I think he's really excited to like implement some stuff, and he's going to work with me actually to try to do that. So yeah, yeah, y'all are, you know, everybody's from their own region, like, right? Everybody wants to say that they're
yeah,
whatever best, but I just since I'm a national director now, I have to kind of be like, well, we're all the best, but we can't be the best, but you know, I'm still.
yeah,
If you know what region I am, I'll probably still be like, our region is, but you know, whatever. But at least we're both not from Texas, so that's the funny thing, right? So
yeah,
Texas likes always saying they're the best, but
yeah,
whatever. There's different regions and especially entities like you say Chicago, and I'm here in Utah, like that are having cool things happening that is important for other brothers to see that is happening too, right? When I went to Chicago, I go to Chicago often, but like I was in Chicago last year. Was it you that I hit up the other time when I was in Chicago?
No, I think it was Denny.
It was another. Is the one that works at the aquarium?
Oh no, that's Felipe Huerta. He's from
Okay.
UIC, Vera Llora.
All right. Okay, so another chapter. But anyways, I was in Chicago. I was also hitting up brothers and stuff. I don't think I knew you then. Maybe I don't
No,
know.
no.
Just because probably not. So, but anyways, so yeah, these are the main questions we have on there. So talking about just, I guess, more of the diversity team, like with you. So this is kind of information for you, and then for people that want to know. Um, Let me see here. Let me go back here. I want to see what committees you said you wanted to do. You wanted to do the bias incidences and report and practices, right?
Yeah, either or.
So, well, that's one committee. It's
Yeah,
but within that committee, the overall view or like goal of that one, well, all committees are going to focus on policy. They're all going to focus on education. They're all going to focus on like helping brothers have resources. But with that one, since that committee, I kind of made sure that one's like the first one because bias incidences. That means anyone, everyone has biases, right?
yeah,
If you act on biases, that's called discrimination. So whenever discrimination happens or whenever an incidence of bias happens, um, we need to, especially if it's against our policy, like we need to make sure like we have a team, a committee that can work towards that and help kind of respond to that. But I don't want the responses to be like, oh, you discriminated against a brother or an interest or a PM, and then like we sanction them. That doesn't teach anything. That doesn't
no,
solve the problem, right? So that's why the next part of that is called restorative practices, where it's like it's a any type anytime we have a bias incidence, it's for us, it's a learning opportunity. It's like an opportunity for us to be able to take advantage and use for brothers to learn about each other, about why we even have that bias, of why we kind of thought that bias was okay. For example, um, the person I did the first one-on-one with, his name's Chris. He's from Texas, and he's a much older brother. And his identity he talked about was that he technically didn't join until like years after he initially was trying to rush, just because the chapter entity would discriminate. Literally said, we don't feel comfortable with this older guy joining,
yeah,
and or we don't feel comfortable for this guy that did the military joining. It's like different reasons, right? And that would be a report that would go directly to the bias incidences committee. And of course, we don't only want to be reactive to like only responding to those type of things, but as mentioned, like we want to do proactive things with education. So any bias incidences educational opportunities we have can be used. Like we can go to the chapter or the entity or the colony, or we can even go using regionals or nationals sessions, educational sessions, blocks, workshops, where the committee and or I together would co-facilitate how that would work, right? We'll kind of see the patterns of what people are being discriminated in, and we being also proactive of what things could happen, right? That could happen from based on someone's religion, um, especially now with our policy with people that identify as transgendered or male.
yeah,
And so we don't want to make sure any chapter or colony is discriminating on someone just because they're transgendered, right? So, um, which I think that's the biggest place we're going to probably have to educate some of our brothers. But we have
yeah.
other places, right? Whether it be on disability or abilities or other identities that could be possibly discriminated against. So that's kind of like your committee. And
Yeah.
is there a reason why you decided or were interested in that one specifically?
The reason why is because I'm trying to work hard with our neighbor chapter with UIC Beta Iota because they're not that diverse. It's
Are they mostly Latino?
yeah, literally they only have one bro that's
Not
immigrant and
Latino?
he's from Puerto Rico. Yeah, Latino.
Uh-huh.
He's from Puerto Rico and he just recently crossed. That's the most diverse they got in. Everybody else
So
is
someone
Mexican.
said someone else says that they're all
Um,
Mexican except
yeah, except that bro, he's Boricua, Puerto Rican. So
Boricua.
so I've been trying to help them out to get their diversity a little bit more up,
Hmm.
and with other chapters as well. So I'm trying to get that going, and not just ethnicity wise, but age
Hmm.
wise. We have a bro that crossed last year. He's like 30, 29, 30, about to be 30 years old,
Hmm.
and he the coolest bro. And the thing is that he brings um the not like the mentor to other young bucks or young members to help them
Mm,
develop this character that they already have. Um,
mm,
so yeah, so just looking at my chapter, we have different age gaps, ethnicities, and just I could relate to like other bros. Well, not relate, but I've seen other bros kind of discriminate other people because they don't want them because of the
mm,
age or things like that. So I wanted to, be helpful with other entities to accept that.
mm,
Like, it's good to have somebody that's a little bit older to help develop the chapter. Be the mentor, be the guidance of certain knowledge for other ones
mm.
to follow through and hopefully develop that character they are missing.
Right. And I think you brought up a good point. It's like we all kind of know places and or brothers that um, where sometimes they don't see the value sometimes of a diverse, like I said, beyond just race, right? Just a diverse brotherhood. And I think that's why it's important for brothers to go to regionals or nationals or
Yeah.
other events where they see the diversity and they're like, wow. And they see like brothers like King or something, right? And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, wow. It's
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah,
right?
I was like, we have a bro. He was actually a charter, um, and he's actually identified as gay, and like that was
Mhm.
like my first reaction, like man, like this is legit. And then I went to Oshkosh and I met Joe King. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, there's a little more bros in the LGBTQ community. Then I went to nationals. I'm like, okay, cool.
And that you were blown
You know,
out of the water, right? You're
yeah,
like,
I
whoa.
was totally blown out. Like, yeah, we're all about diversity over here.
Right.
When we talk about
And I
any
think,
man, we actually mean any man.
right. And it's great. And I think it's like I said, those are the kind of experiences that are way more effective than like any educational workshop that I can do
Yeah.
or like thing. Because if they see a brother, they're gonna have to choose themselves as like, am I gonna respect that person or not? Like, and then if they don't, then there's like other brothers that help build that and be like in a safe place, right? Being like, hey, why are you disrespecting that person just because of their identity? They're a brother. Like they went through the process. They earn their letters. Like there's no reason for you to treat them differently. Um,
Yeah.
in a negative way because of their identities. And I think that that's a way more effective way to like help brothers realize that how amazing our brotherhood and especially specifically our organization is when it comes to being multicultural, right? So
Hmm.
but yeah, like I said, we all have experiences. For me, it's like there's not too many African American or Black people over here, and so whenever I go to other events, like and I see brothers are African American, I'm just like, yeah, I'm so excited, like because uh, it's just like for me, like that's that, like I don't see that often, so I'm always like excited to see Latif, like or or
Yeah.
play around, or like it's
After.
I really, right.
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just saying, and then one of the other brothers that I'm always excited when it comes to ethnicity is like poly bros. I don't think in Chicago they have too many polys. Pacific Islanders. I don't know. If,
Oh yeah, man, I'm
yeah.
trying so hard to get any type of like people who identify as Asian or Pacific Islanders. Like I'm trying, but it's hard. Hard. Some are just like
And
it's a commuter school, so not a lot of people are like interested in Greek life. But we
yeah.
just crossed two bros identify one identify as African American, one identifies I forgot what, but he is African descent. And the bros were happy. They're like, man, we finally got two more
Uh-huh.
African bro. Like we're identify African or black. And we're like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I know, man. It's been a while since like 2 3 years we crossed anybody
Right.
besides that's Latino or white.
Right. And then and it takes like those to then once you have them to like really lead and help with other recruitment because it's easier for them to recruit other people that are similar to ethnicities or races in
Hmm.
them. So, but yeah, similarly with me, I'm like, oh, I'm always excited to go and travel because I see brothers that are just very different from me, and I'm like, yes. Um, but and I'm always excited, especially when it comes to like um their surnames. I'm always interested in like hearing people's surnames and like why they got their surnames, you
Yeah.
know. So, but but yeah, so that's the overall the committee. It's good to hear that you're interested in that committee because you have personal experience and you're already taking action around your region and your own chapter to like make sure that some of those issues or things are issues are being taken care of or at least addressed. Then kind of the next steps, at least for our side in the national team, is we're going to continue to, at least for me, I want to do these one-on-ones to kind of build that relationship and then help you like see that this is we want to practice what we preach, right? um, our team's going to be diverse. Our team is open, and we're all different. We might not all agree also with what we want to do, but this is how we move forward. And I think it's also a good thing to know that since you're going to be on that committee, let me see. I think we have. I have an iPad, and this I'm on a laptop right now, and I keep touching the screen, and it's not a it's not a touch screen. Let me see here. On here, I'm trying to see who's on the team with you. Um, we have Jose Garcia, you, and Victor Canales Gamino. So there's two other people so far, but there might be more people that want to join later.
Okay.
But for sure, there's two others. And so after I have the one-on-ones with them too, I'll be sending out an email so we can have a conference call just for so this committee can just start meeting.
Okay.
Um, when we can move forward. And I am going to have a little bit more stuff, especially overall with the team, because I'm going to be meeting with the bigger team, which is the leadership and membership development at the Southwest regionals, where we're going to make kind of like the year plan of like what we want to do, especially at nationals. And you're
Okay.
planning to go nationals, right?
Oh yeah, I have to go.
All right. Right.
Yeah, I
And
love
so,
going though. I always try to figure out how to end up going.
right. From Chicago to Texas again. So,
Man, I know, man. Like for me, it was like, what was the point for the polls? Like everybody wanted Chicago. They want to get out of Texas.
right. Well, hopefully, maybe in the future. Chicago is a good place. It's a good airport location for like lots of people to fly in, so it's easier.
Yeah,
It's just I think also the big thing is it's expensive for
yeah,
any kind
yeah,
of
expensive.
convention.
Yeah.
But cool. Then yeah. Do you have any questions before we wrapped up? Any questions you have about your position, the committee, the team, about me, about anything?
I have one. Well, yeah, one. Um,
Hmm.
is there any, like, for example, are we gonna be presenting any type of workshops in nationals or in line um, to be working on, or will that be explained later on?
So yeah, so once we have our team, we'll make our goals. So one of the things we're going to do for sure, that's the first steps before we start even presenting at any conferences, is we have to look through our policies to make sure that and they're well.
Mm.
And so then once we propose and update those policies, once we're at workshops, it's easier for us to be like, this is the new policy. This is why we're talking about this. And then, but for sure, we are going to be doing educational things. And when that's
Okay.
not only at workshops, but we might have to be doing, especially this committee is going to be working on how to prepare like chapter advisors so that they know how to the protocol when it comes to reports or how to give resources to their chapter and also how to engage the alumni since they're kind of the a liaison to the alumni too to make sure that the alumni are learning too so if they want to get involved because we all know the alumni that aren't really as involved but they're really loud, right? So if they really those that want to be loud, they better be willing to learn and see where we're moving towards as a brotherhood and organization, right? So
Okay. Perfect. No, that was my only concern.
okay. Yeah, and if you have more, now you have my number because I texted you slash called
Yeah.
you. So you can message me and or email me or message me on Facebook just as you did anytime. And like I said, overall to the people that are going to be watching this, I'm personally grateful that I have a couple of brothers that have already like stepped up, wait, even before the announcement of my position officially,
Yeah.
to really be engaged and to help. And so, if anyone else wants to help, just let me know. But I do have high expectations of as a brother's been seeing how I engage and how we're going to be working. But I don't. I'm still trying to figure out since this is you're my second call. I'm still trying to figure out how to like end these calls. Like, but the Chris was just kind of like he was just kind of like 1 9, and then
Hey,
you
seven.
say 8 7. But then I was like, okay, we could do that. But then I was like, we could also do like the air deltas. Like, I don't know what to do. Like,
Just throw out deltas.
the air
A's.
deltas. Hey. So, but yeah. So, but thank you again for Hedgar for the one-on-one video call. Um, and is it okay if I put your email on the description? So if brothers want to reach out to you,
No, no, no. That's totally fine.
okay, cool. Then I'll do that. Okay, thanks for the call.
All right, brother.
We'll
Have a
talk
good one.
later.
Peace.